Hey everyone, welcome back. If you are new, I am Ambrosia and I am the eclectic herbalist. So, like I said in the last video I posted, I will be doing a video about author stuff. So if you were here for like herbalism and witchcraft stuff, that will not be this video. We are talking about book events today, what to bring. If you are an author and you're going to your first book event and you are curious on what to bring to your first book event, I was too. I had to go about it, as I previously mentioned, by just going off of pictures from events that other authors went to and like looking at their table. I've gone to 4 events so far. 2 of them are the ApolyCon event that's in April, and then I had an event in Denver. Don't mind my dog. I had an event in Denver a few years ago, and then an event this past October. So I have managed to collect things and walk around and stuff. So I'm gonna be looking at my phone here and there. First, let's start off with how do you find events to sign up and go to. You could ask around if you have author friends, or you can, if you're following other authors on social media and they post about an event, they usually will tag the event's social media, so you could follow that. And from there, you'll just follow the links, fill out forms and things like that. They will then send you an invite, letting you know whether they're inviting you or letting you know that there's too many people and unfortunately you can't go. If you got the invite, you would have to either accept or deny it, but obviously you're going to accept it. There are obviously charges, so just be aware of that. But once you have your booth and all that set, usually the event planners they should be sending you emails throughout the entire time. Because there are some events that don't end well. So you do want to make sure there is like consistent communication between the event planners and you guys, the authors. But aside from obviously your books and whatever like signage you plan to bring, we'll go over it. So I bring a newsletter sign-up sheet, or I had printed out a whole bunch of papers for my first event. Now I don't really need them, but I have 2 clipboards, so I think if you want a clipboard, you can get a clipboard. That's for like signups. So I had a newsletter sign-up sheet, which just had their name and email, and then I'd have to come home and manually put it in. I would recommend, if you're starting out, yes, do that, but once you kind of get the hang of it, definitely get a QR code that links to your newsletter, or a list of your links, or whichever, but that's also like on another item that we'll talk about. So newsletter signups, invoices for pre-orders. So when you go to an event, you want to run pre-orders, and it kind of helps you gauge how many books you'll want to bring. What I do is I will take however many pre-orders of each title I got and then multiply it by 3, and then gauge it from there. This past event, I think I brought 124 books and sold out of them. So make sure you bring the invoices for all the pre-orders, and don't forget to acknowledge that once those pre-orders are like separated from your main bunch, you still have to have enough stock to sell to the event, right? So invoices, books, you can either travel with your books or ship them. If you ship them, there's a whole bunch of other kind of stipulations, I think. I don't know. Because you could do their triage service. My last event, we were able to just ship them to the event planners, and they handled passing them out, but they did tell us that that was a little hectic for them, so they won't be doing that this next year. Completely understand. But I did travel with them the first 3 events I went to, because I travel Southwest, so you get 2 check-ins and 2 carry-ons. That was when they were free. Now the check-ins are like $35. I don't do that anymore because I always end up bringing way too many books and have to pay like over $100. So I might as well just ship them. You'll want to bring your event info and like our scheduler. Usually the event planners will send this via email, or they might send it in the mail. I had the Book Harvest one. They sent me one in the mail like months before the actual event. Then I got another one in the email. So try and save that email, print it out, what have you. I usually set it up in my iPad just so I could just go in there and see, and it's all right there. But so, and I have this listed under documents. So document wise, newsletter sign up, invoices for pre-orders, and any sort of information that the event planners send you for the event. The next list would be booth supplies. So, and for booth supplies, starting out, I think I had just a few signs that I got from Vistaprint, and then maybe 2 of the big roll banners. And one of the banners was like just author information, and the other one was information on the series that I had currently out. I now have 3 banners for 2 series and my main author one. So I would say 2 to 3 banners, because those are also weight for if you're flying. So your author banner, book banners, those go on the sides of your table, obviously. Now this isn't necessary, you don't need it, but once you like go to events, you'll see most authors have it, and then you'll want to get it. But I didn't have it for my first 2 events, had it the second 2 events, a back banner that just has either your author name or whatever you want. It could be about like a whole book back banner, whatever. And then of course, if you're gonna get the back banner, you're gonna want to get zip ties or clamps or hooks or something to attach it to they'll usually give you like a weird wall that's like has those curtains. I'm horrible at explaining things, but they'll give you like one of those little pop-up walls that's like nothing but piping and fabric, and so you'll just hook your banner on there. And then you'll also want a table cover. Now usually the event it comes with a table, 2 chairs, and a cover, but if you want to be fancy flashy, get a little author brand table cover. You're good to go. Some sort of book holder or book display. I have just like singular little things that set the book right there, and then I'll just stack the rest of the books behind it. But something to display at least 1 or more titles at a time, and then you could put the like stock somewhere else. You will want, for money collecting purposes, you will want a cash register so you can take cash. You don't necessarily need it because people will come with cash, but you could just shove it in your pocket. So it's not like a needed thing, but if you want a cash register, get a cash register. And then obviously some sort of system that, like a card reader. I do the Square, but there's like other options. So you'll want a card reader and a cash register. And maybe some sort of signage letting them know that you accept both card and cash. However you want to do it. Next up, you will want business cards and or a QR code sign. Now what I mean by that is at my first APollyCon event, and I walked around to look at all the other author booths and tables, some authors had these really cute acrylic signs that had QR codes on them, and I was able to get the company, so I will link it below for anyone who wants to use it. But they made the really cute acrylic sign, and I'm able to put at least 4 of my QR codes. So 2 of them are social medias, Instagram and TikTok. One of them is like my Beacons link page, and then the other one goes directly to my website, which will ask you if you want to sign up for the newsletter. And that's where you may or may not need the newsletter paper. I'm no longer going to be bringing it because they could just hit the QR code. As well as business cards. I forgot to bring them at my last event, and a lot of people did ask for them, but they were able to just scan the QR code on the sign. So that one you could do one if not both, because sometimes it's easier for them to just pick it up and move along. But I found when they use the QR code, they'll more quickly sign up rather than just taking your card and then waiting until they're back at home or something. You'll of course want a bunch of pens, markers, Sharpies of some sort. Usually the event planners will give you like a care package when you go to register upon getting there, and that care package will usually have pens and markers and things like that, but it's always great to bring your own, of course. So pens, a portable charger for your devices while you're there, because usually at big events we're in there, if it's like a 2 or 3 day event, we're in there for the first day like 6 hours. So, and they don't always provide outlets, because sometimes you're in the middle of the floor that has no outlets. At my last event they did actually have outlets for us to use, but at a Polycon they don't unless you pay for them. So I have like a big box portable charger, charge it up, and it works. It keeps my tablet on, or my iPad charged, which I use the iPad for the Square reader to put in all of the purchases and things like that. I have a felt board, so this is completely optional, but as I mentioned previously, you would want some sort of signage displaying whether you take card or cash. You'll also want signage displaying your prices for your books. If you have novellas or full sets, or if you get character art or other little fun little things to sell, you'll want to obviously have a price chart there. I have this pink felt board because I think it's cute. I need to get more letters because, as you might be able to see, I only have 2 dollar signs, and there's obviously more than 2 objects. I have to bring more, so that's all the stuff I currently have. I am currently trying to just bring a bit more, because now I know the more you go to, the more you learn, right? So I need to get a trolley, like some sort of pulley trolley that can be fold up and put it in luggage, because I usually just wheel my suitcase down there with all this stuff in it, and that becomes difficult when it's just one person, because I used to have an assistant, which was my husband, but we're no longer together, so now I don't have an assistant, so I have to do it by myself, and which was my last event I did completely alone. A lot of people did help, but I had to I moved my books and stuff, or not my books, but my table decor down in my pink luggage thing. So I'm gonna get a trolley, a little wagon. What else? I need to get some sort of foldable shelves to put all of my book stock on, because right now I have all of my titles on the table, and I have about 10 titles. So it takes up a lot of space. I can't really have all of the character art or decorations out, so I'm going to get some sort of foldable shelf to put all the books in. Everything else is just kind of stuff for my comfort, not necessarily needed. So that is all that I have. I'm sure as you go through events, you'll acquire more things, you'll want to bring more, not bring everything I stated. Whatever you want to do. At my last event, I actually figured out a new printout that I can use instead of the newsletter one. I had sold out of, if I sold out of 𝕍𝕒, which is the first book in the one series, not many people are going to buy the second and third book, because if they don't have the first book, why buy the second one? So what I did is, if they wanted it, they could buy the set or buy whichever one, leave with whatever books that I did have at the table, and whatever they didn't get to leave with, I shipped back to them. And at Book Harvest, I had them write that on the newsletter. So there was people signing up for the newsletter, and then there were people signing up that had purchased something that I needed to reach back out to ship something off. That was really difficult. It sounds difficult, it was difficult. So I'm just going to make a new sheet for them to fill out and do it that way. So that way, that's the only reason I sold out of all my books, to be quite honest. Offering for me to ship them out, you leave whatever, because I'll do a bundle for 3 main books or all 5 books, because it has 2 novellas included. So if they bought all 5 but could only leave with 4 of them because Corey was sold out, then they'd leave with those 4, and I'd ship Corey to him when I got back. And that worked. And then I sold out of Hades, and then I sold out of the 2 novellas. I had sold out of my Sunflower book and all of my really small novellas. So what you don't sell, you want to have means to ship back to you, or if you're traveling with them, travel back with you. Because sometimes you do have books that you have to bring home. Sometimes you don't sell out. But anyways, that's all I have for this episode, a video, whatever you want to call it. Not very much. It was well thought out prior, but then, I get in front of the camera and it kind of just goes out the window. But anyways, that's all I have for this week. I hope to catch you in the next video, which I don't really know what it's going to be about yet. So we'll see. Have a nice day. Bye.